Homeless man's action shocks everybody and turns his life around in the most beautiful way. Life is a series of decisions and choices that we make along the way, steering our destinies one way or the other. Those decisions can be as simple as deciding what time to wake up, or whether to skip legs day at the gym, or more decisive ones that will literally change your entire world. Today's story is about a man who didn't have many options, but still made a decision that surprised everyone. But before we start, make sure to subscribe if you haven't and hit that notification bell so you won't miss any new stories. It all started on the pavement of a train station where a homeless man named Waralop was preparing to spend the night. The 44-year-old man's life was a true daily struggle, as he'd been living on the streets for many years, trying to earn enough money for food from the part-time menial jobs he could find. Unable to afford rent, Waralop resorted to the local train station to spend his nights there. Though he was struggling to make ends meet, Waralop still refused to beg for food or money, and instead he always relied on himself and lived off his few, hardly earned pennies. In the fall of 2019, Waralop returned to his spot at one of the train station's platforms after a long day he spent laboring. And just as he settled down and was about to fall asleep, he was startled by a man who ran past him trying to catch a departing train. The whole thing happens hundreds of times every day on the railway station. Yet this time was different because the homeless man saw something fall out of the running man's pocket. Waralop's reaction was to get up and rush towards the object to see what it was, and he was surprised to find out that it was a wallet. It wasn't any wallet though, but a brown Hermes designer wallet, meaning that contained a good sum of money. By now, most of us would think that the man just opened it and looted whatever was inside and went to get himself a proper dinner and a warm place to spend the night, right? Yet that wasn't the case, as against all odds, the homeless man didn't even stop to open the wallet or check its contents. He immediately picked it up and started running after the man, shouting to him to stop and waving his hands in the air. Unfortunately, Waralop couldn't catch up with the speeding man, who got on the train just as it was about to depart. The homeless man stood on the platform trying to catch his breath with the wallet in his hand, watching the train speeding away. Not knowing what to do next, Waralop opened the wallet later on to check what was inside it, and to his surprise it contained 20,000 baht, the equivalent of $580, along with many credit cards. It looked like it was Waralop's lucky day, as the man badly needed the money and he could definitely put it to good use. That amount of money could get him new clothes and hot meals and a place to stay for weeks. Yet our hero's story, who had just 9 baht, the equivalent of 25 cents, in his pocket at the time, didn't do any of that. He said that when he saw all that money, he knew he needed to return it back to its owner, as it might have been for a medical treatment or another urgent matter. Waralop immediately walked to the nearest police station, where he submitted the wallet and told the police what happened. The surprised police officers took Waralop's contact information and thanked him for his kind gesture. The police used the credit card's information to quickly locate the owner and contact him, and the owner showed up the following day to pick up his wallet. Upon arriving at the police station, the owner said that he didn't even notice that he'd lost it, yet he still wanted to meet the man who found it to thank him, as after he checked its contents, he found all of his possessions intact. At that moment, Waralop's life was turned around, as the owner of the wallet was Nidi Pangriangios, a 30-year-old entrepreneur who owns metal factories all around Thailand. The businessman was so touched by Waralop's honesty that he wanted to reward him. So when he met the homeless man, Mr. Pangriangios offered him 2,000 baht, the equivalent of $58, as a reward. To the businessman's surprise, Waralop kindly refused to take the money, saying that he didn't do it for the reward, but because it was the right thing to do. Waralop left Mr. Niddy wondering about his honesty and kindness, as all the people he meets on a daily basis fight each other for money, in a world where values and kindness mean little, if any. Yet right there in front of him stood a man who, despite his desperate need for every penny, still chose to do the right thing and refused to be rewarded for it. Mr. Needy later on said that his first reaction when he saw Waralop was, "Wow, if I were him in that position with no money, I would have taken that money." Determined not to let Waralop's act of honesty and kindness go unrewarded, Mr. Needy changed his offer on the spot, and instead of the money, he offered the homeless man a job at one of his factories, along with an accommodation. Waralop greatly accepted the offer that he saw as the opportunity he needed to turn his life around. Mr. Needy later on commented saying that what Warlop's actions showed his good and honest personality, just the kind of man he needed on his staff. In a couple of days, Warlop started working at one of Mr. Needy's metal factories in Bangkok. The grateful businessman also offered Warlop a room in a dorm near the factory, and the homeless man was beyond thrilled to finally have a warm and clean place where he could live decently. After learning about what Warlop did, Tarika, Mr. Needy's girlfriend, was touched, and so she also decided to show her gratefulness by taking the once homeless man shopping and got him new clothes and all the necessary things he needed. She later on posted a picture of Warlop on social media and commented saying, "Warlop is such a good example that being kind really does pay off. When you're kind to another, another is kind to you." The picture went viral on Facebook, and Warlop was invited to many TV shows where he shared his story. Warlop was so grateful for the job that he worked so hard at the factory, and his efforts didn't go unnoticed as he got promoted after just 2 months to become a shift manager, taking his salary from $70 to $340 a month, a salary well above the average salary in the country. Warlop lives a decent life, and now he's even saving to buy his own house. He also maintained a good and close relationship with Mr. Needy's family, as he's regularly invited into their house and ceremonies. As for how Warlop ended on the street, it was after his mother passed away, and his brother took over the house and kicked him out. At the beginning, Warlop rented an apartment, yet as he couldn't earn enough to pay the rent and support himself, he ended up on the streets, struggling to make enough money to eat. Yet now that's all history, as the goodness and honesty of Warlop finally paid off, and he got the life that he deserves. When you get the chance to do good, don't think twice about it, as your simple action can change someone else's life, and hopefully yours as well, as good deeds never go unrewarded. It might take time, but eventually you'll get what you deserve. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and tell us what you think about it in the comment section below.